For this video, I'd like to talk about how the uniqueness of some video game stories, and if they're still as unique or as impactful as they used to be.
Back in the day, it feels like games had more in-depth storytelling and emotional impact while keeping us entertained and locked into the gameplay by whatever your taste is and keeping you, entertained. That's really important, and I feel like a lot more games today are really falling off of that aspect. It's just spewing it out for money.
Exactly, that is so true. Especially if you look at like modern releases, like today, like especially like, well, you played through like AC Valhalla.
Mm-hmm.
That game was so long.
Very long, very tedious. If you're not ready to spend at least, I'd say like at least 40 plus hours just to finish the story, not including the side quests.
Dude, it's more than that.
Them out.
It's actually like 70 to 100.
Well,
it's crazy. It's so stupid.
Depends how you play, really.
Well, no, that's legit. Like even if you're rushing, it's like 100 hours base. That's too long.
I have at least almost 300 hours, and I don't have the map cleared for all the I can't remember what the pieces are called.
But yeah, that's wild, and that's trying to experience the story. I like a shorter game.
I dumped in probably another 90 hours of gameplay after I beat the story.
I haven't even beat it. But speaking of stories, let's talk about some of these older game stories that like are more impactful. Are they or aren't they?
It all really depends. Some games, they do try to keep up from what we used to have. But in my personal opinion, I think Chrono Trigger for the DS. I didn't get to play the OG, unfortunately, on the N64. But the story is very simple, but so impactful at the same time, with so much emotional value that keeps you entertained. It makes you make certain decisions, and you can have party members that you gained along your travels pass away and like sacrifice themselves. And you keep on traveling throughout the story, and when you get to a certain part, you start time traveling. You can go through like really different eras of time. Like you can go to the prehistoric if you go through a certain way in a path. You could go to like this awkward medieval age where you can be out in the jungle in the Amazon.
I think I never played this game, but I think I tried to rent it from the film fest in our town, and they wouldn't let me because it was too scratched up.
It was for the DS.
Oh, it was for the DS. No, there was a different game, but that game sounds dope.
It was very good, and it was definitely made to keep you involved in knowing what you got to do in the game, because you had to get you got RNG based too, like RPG.
Dude, have you ever played, speaking of like impactful stories, Persona? Have you ever played any of the Personas?
No, I have not.
There was one on the GameCube, I think. So if you still have a GameCube, you should probably get that one.
If it's not a dime.
But those games are so like dark and boding, and you don't really know what's gonna happen. It's kind of like Pokemon.
Yeah, I remember you talking about it, and I kept on trying to look it up because you always told me it was like, dude, it's kind of like Pokemon and Digimon put together.
Yeah.
And I was like looking it up, and I was like, all I saw was like people, and I was like, are we talking about the same game? I don't know what this is, but I never realized there's a battle aspect. I never saw that. I always just saw a whole bunch of dialogue.
Dude, I know. You know what game was pretty fire that had a cool, really unique story that hasn't been done since then, really?
What's up?
Pokemon Gale of Darkness.
Yes. Pokemon Colosseum and Gales of Darkness was such a different aspect of Pokemon. It was very different and dark. They kind of kept it up with like the movie about Celebi with the dude using the dark Pokeballs and making Pokemon super evil, and like that's all it ever reminded me as a kid, and it kept me so enticed into Pokemon Colosseum and Gales of Darkness.
I thought it was pretty awesome being able to just catch other people's Pokemon.
Yeah, and then you get to purify them and make them your own. And even better, if you had the link cable, trade cable for the GameCube to your Game Boy, you can trade those Pokemon over, and they have special moves that they normally wouldn't learn.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like the Lugia in Gales of Darkness, it has a moveset that Lugia would never have in like the games. Like it has 2 moves that it cannot learn in the main games, but through Gales of Darkness it will have it.
Oh wow. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Like when games do stuff like that.
And did you know you can get a legit Ho-Oh just from Pokemon Colosseum?
I did not.
Yep, if you purify all the Shadow Pokemon and then go beat floor 100 on the Battle Tower, you will get the Ho-Oh.
Dude, you know what game was so simple but had a pretty cool story? The like Spyro games.
Spyros were phenomenal. Especially, I played the one for the GameCube where you'd like run around and like do like little obstacle courses, and that you need to like unlock certain dragons and like free them like from being in a crystal and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That was so good.
Yeah.
Another good game was I think was Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles.
I never played that one, but
I have it for the GameCube.
Oh, nice.
They did a remaster of it for the Switch.
I played Final Fantasy VII, the remake. That was pretty dope.
But with Crystal Chronicles, you kind of had like make multiple characters because they all play a part in your village.
Oh, you got to like raise a village?
Yeah, and you'd have to make a character with like, if you wanted them to all be one type, obviously you could do that, but like...
See, why don't they do that today? That'd be so fire.
It's very different in gameplay. Like, I feel like not everyone would be down to play it, because it's just the game style of it all. You would have to come over and try it out. It's kind of awkward in a sense, just because of how you have to like use your attacks and the gameplay, like the controls for the GameCube, you know. They're not the best if you're...
Dude. You know what game had a really great story on the GameCube? Legend of Zelda Wind Waker.
I only got to play that game for like 5 minutes.
You have to play it. You have to.
It'd be nice to be able to play it.
Yeah, for real. Or, I don't know if you ever played the Pokemon Sun and Moon.
Yeah, I did.
Those
were pretty
games
cool.
were alright. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
No, I
Played
did not play
those.
those.
I did. It's literally the same story, but like slightly upgraded.
Yeah, they added like Necrozma at the end and all this other happy fun stuff.
Yeah, like a lot of the Ultra Beasts. I guess that's what made it cool, but...
I miss playing through Pokemon Red, Silver, Gold, Crystal, Blue, Yellow, and then, you know, Ruby, Sapphire,
Dude,
Emerald.
the stories of those games were kind of dark compared to the ones we get now.
Especially Pokemon Yellow, like, they kind of make it like the anime in a way.
Yeah, it was like straight up...
Like,
like
you
a
start
show.
out with Pikachu, and you get to find a Bulbasaur, and save a Charmander, and get the Squirtle.
Yeah, how cool is that? Like, they don't do stuff like that anymore.
Yeah, that was a completely different way to play Pokemon right there, because, you know, you don't get Charmander, Squirtle, or Bulbasaur before Brock.
Have you ever played Twisted Metal?
No.
That was a great game, and the stories of that game... They don't make games like Twisted Metal and stuff. It was one of Sony's like flagship series. It was where it was like a car deathmatch game, and it was like super gruesome.
I remember seeing some gameplay about that.
With
Now it rings a
Sweet
bell.
Tooth the clown. See, that game was dope, and it had a cool story. Each character had its own story. And you can like finish it, and you got like cutscenes, unique cutscenes and stuff. It was pretty dope.
Pokemon Platinum, I think, was just the complete tier, like top tier of Pokemon gaming. Because, you know, the Dimension World was different. Like, you gotta float around
Oh yeah.
and catch Giratina.
How cool was that?
Dude, it was mind blowing for, you know, like 12-year-old me. I was like, whoa, that's crazy.
Right? You know, like, the stories in today's games, besides like The Last of Us, The Ghost, and like Spider-Man and God of War, they aren't really that poppin'.
Like, they have good animation, good gameplay, but the story overall isn't just, it's not like impactful. It's not like you being like, wow, now that's good like storytelling, you know? It's all just kind of like, what were they talking about
Yeah,
this whole
right?
time? What's
Like-
the beef about?
Like what? Or it just takes forever to get into the action.
That too.
Like, every Ubisoft game is just so big, so long.
I mean, I get what they're trying to do with it, but they need to learn how to even out the gameplay to storytelling while at the same time excelling through the story while like grinding. Let's say, you know, like
Exactly.
let people be the power skill they need to be throughout the whole story, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't want to do that, then they can do it that way. But it's all about people who, you know, still have to take some time to do some other stuff, but not the way how they're trying to do it now.
Exactly. It's wild. The only, you know what franchise I loved that had a dope storyline that was like a choose your own adventure and they freaking went bankrupt was the Telltale games. Those games were awesome. You had like the Walking Dead Telltale ones. Then you had the Wolf Among Us. And like the Telltale games were so emotional and impactful.
I never got to play those. But another good game from the past that I feel like the tool had a good storytelling aspect was Sly.
Oh my god, dude. I used to, when I was like 6 or 7, I would like play in my backyard and pretend I had like the mystery machine or whatever their car was called.
Mm-hmm.
And like I would pretend I was Sly.
That game was so cool.
Dude, those were like my favorite games growing up. All of them. Dude, Sly 3 was awesome too.
What was the other game that was really good back in the day? It was like that one dude and like the ferret.
There was
Clinking,
there was Ratchet. That was Jack and Dexter, the one you're talking about. Jack and Dexter.
Yeah, those games were good too.
Ratchet and Clank was fire also. Oh man, all those games were so cool. Yeah, that was a man, different time.
Here's just a throwback. If you know, you know. Viva Pinata for the Xbox 360.
Oh my god, dude. No, here's the throwback. Here's the throwback. Naughty Bear.
What?
Naughty Bear. It was a game where you got to play a serial killing teddy bear, and you were on an island full of just like teddy bears, and you were like Jason Voorhees. You would murder them in the most gruesome ways possible, like burn them alive,
But all in
rip
teddy
them
bear.
yeah, teddy bear, and like you could smash their face in. And
That's gangster.
yeah, I'm surprised you never played it.
Nah, bro, I never even heard of that.
Yeah, that's a pretty fire game.
What? I think this is right. Rabid Rabbits.
Oh yeah, dude, those games were funny.
I remember playing it on the Xbox a long time ago. I was like 7 or 8. I was so young, dude. And I was like playing it at like 3 o'clock in the morning because I randomly woke up and I couldn't fall asleep. And that was in my uncle's Xbox, and I was like, this is nuts.
Dude, that's
What is
hilarious.
this?
That's hilarious. Alright. Well, I think this video is gonna come to a close. I'm getting hungry.
Alright, man. It was fun.
Oh yeah. Until next time, subscribe for more, like the video, and peace out.
See you guys later.